Cheers, internet drinking buddies. My name's Link, the show's name is Tubbin and Chugging, and on this episode, we'll be imbibing Fireball Whiskey. Now, Fireball Whiskey is manufactured by the, I believe I'm saying it correctly, Sazerac company, who bought it from Seagram's in the mid-80s. Fireball's actually been around since 1984, developed in Canada for those Arctic winter nights, if you will. Get a little spice to those. It's going to be 33% alcohol by volume, which translates to 66 proof. You're going to run about 108 calories per shot. Each shot of that's going to cost you about 60 to 70 cents if you buy a handle. You can usually find that for about $20 to $25 at most grocery stores. Today here we've got a fifth. It's a nice collector's edition fifth for the first episode. Spruce it up a little bit. But I recommend in general buying it by the handle just due to the volume. And today we're going with the Niagara Falls shot glass. Figured we'd go with that one given the Canada-US connection on this. Now there are a lot of cinnamon whiskeys out there, but I would say that Fireball is probably the quintessential cinnamon whiskey, if not the most popular. And it's got songs after it and all that kind of stuff. It's a very popular drink. You've probably seen it at the very least, if not heard of it. Now you may have heard of it due to some controversy that they've had in the past. They had an anti-freeze lawsuit alleged against them in the EU. It was somewhat of a misunderstanding, as there's a North American recipe, which the FDA allows for a certain amount of, I have it written down here, propylene glycol. The EU did not. They shipped a batch of the North American one to the EU. EU wasn't very happy about it. They resolved that lawsuit. There's no propylene glycol at all in Fireball anymore, if you were worried about that. It was never going to be that much of a harm anyway, but there we stand on that one. Now, personally, I had Fireball on my 21st birthday. My sister bought me a collection of little mini shot glasses. Fireball was one of them, and it's pretty good. I'm going to be biased in this review, naturally speaking. I love this stuff. It's one of my favorites, which is why I chose it for the first review. Now, as far as how to drink Fireball, I would recommend it straight. If not as a shot, then I like to sip on it personally, but maybe that's a little bit too crazy for you. You can put it into a mixed drink, like if you were to substitute a traditional whiskey drink with Fireball, as Fireball is, primarily whiskey based, just that extra cinnamon and sugar gets it down to 33% as opposed to a typical 40% from whiskey. So if you were to mix it with you would take a hot toddy, for example, and you were to replace the bourbon base in that with Fireball, you'd get like a hotter toddy, a little bit spicier, that kind of thing. On the other hand, if you were to take like a hard cider, and you were to mix Fireball into that, like a shot of Fireball with a whole can of like a Reds or an Angry Orchard or something like that. I've heard that called an apple pie by some people. I think on the website they call it an apple balls, apple orchard Fireball, that kind of thing. That's a very good winter ski lodge kind of drink. But personally, again, I'd recommend just drinking it straight. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the toast. I always like to do a toast before we drink. And this being the first episode, I'll just say cheers to our first episode and hopefully many more. A little bit spicier than you expect every time, but man, that goes down smooth. Oh, and it just warms, man. You take the warmth of the Fireball kind of edging down your throat, and you get that hot tub, a little bit of chill on your torso, a little bit of hot on your legs, and as it just kind of blends down throughout your entire body, it just, oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. A lot of liquors, they'll have this opening taste, right? It's a little bit bitter, or sorry, a little bit good, a little bit like sweet or something like that. And you'll be like, oh, this is fine. And then an aftertaste comes in, you're like, why did I drink that? And that aftertaste lingers, it stays. Fireball lingers and stays, but it stays in a good way. It stays in that, like, I'm just warm throughout my esophagus, and everything's nice. It's not like a burning kind of crisp, but just like a nice, like, hot fire that you're just warming your hands by. I really don't have anything negative to say about it, except that initial burst might be a little bit too high for some people. Maybe they won't be able to do the whole thing as a shot, but boy, if you can, it's definitely worth it in my opinion. Fireball whiskey, quintessential cinnamon whiskey, in my opinion. Again, you're gonna find it $20, $25 a handle most places. Bars are gonna have it as like a $5 special, a lot of the case. So I'd recommend it, picking it up if you can. Don't really have a sign-off phrase yet. Maybe we'll have one at a future time, but until then, cheers.